I want to make a note before this video kind of starts. I apologize if the sound is crackly, so I need to get a new one, but just bear with me. Hey friends, and welcome to another video. Today we are diving into one of my hobbies right now, which is reading. We're going to be talking about 8 books that I think every Christian woman / wife / mother should read in their lifetime. Grab your coffee, grab your blanket. This is going to be a fun but long one. Let's talk about some awesome books. All right, books. We have a lot going for us. I'm going to start with the first book that I don't have physically. It's actually at my sister's because I really want her to read it. I don't think she's read it yet, but I want her to. And I've also talked about this on my channel before and also on my Instagram. The book is My Dear Hemlock, and it is absolutely phenomenal. It is kind of like a retelling of, what's that C.S. Lewis book? The Screwtape Letters. It is a retelling of the Screwtape Letters, but it is if Satan's demons were trying to tempt and separate a newly Christian woman / wife from God. And I found it really good. It's been a few months since I read it, so I probably won't get everything right about the book, but it really convicts you deeply about things that you may think, I didn't think anyone else had those same thoughts or anyone else had those same issues. And then you read this book and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one who has thought these things or had these things come into my brain and all this stuff. And one of the things that stood out to me right now is she talks about how women, Christian women specifically, we belittle our husbands in ways of thinking that we're better than our husbands because we what's the word, we married down, so we're the best in the relationship, stuff like that. It really stood out to me. It was very, very good, very convicting, very compelling read. Okay, this next book is a very recent read and I am obsessed. It is Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. It is a retelling of Hosea and Gomer. And let me tell you, it is very good. Sometimes Hosea and Gomer can be kind of hard to understand and wrap your head around, but this book kind of helps you get the idea of God's love. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful story. Our main characters are Michael, Hosea, and Angel, and it'll make you cry multiple times because you are just in such awe of not only his love for Angel despite everything that she's gone through and everything that she does to him, but you're just in awe of God's love in general, because this is not just a fun little romantic fiction book, but it's supposed to also be a representation of what God's love looks like, and it is exactly that, and it's beautiful, and I love it, and I think every Christian woman should read this. So yeah, I believe it is closed door, so there's some suggested material, but there's nothing explicit in it, and it's very good. And read the book before you even watch the movie, because the movie does not even compare to the book. That's mom life for you. Next book, Memory Making Mom by Jessica Smart. Let me just tell you, if you need some inspiration as a mom to be a better mom, to make your kids' childhood not just fun but memorable, something that how you look back, some people, not everyone, I don't want to generalize, but a lot of people look back on their childhood with a lot of nostalgia and a lot of emotions and a lot of just joy because they had a really good childhood and their parents made it fun, and their parents not only made it fun but made sure that they told their kids that I love you and all these different things. Well, that is kind of Memory Making Mom. It is a whole book dedicated to inspiring you to make your child's childhood memorable. I found this very inspiring, and it talks not only to those who can do a lot of different things, like there are families who their like memory that they do every year or whatever is they're always going on a beach trip or a Disney trip, but it speaks to those families who are in lower income, like my husband and I. It kind of walks through holidays, it walks through discipline, it walks through just a whole lot of things and shares how you can make each thing memorable and fun. The one thing I love that she adds in this book is she does say, like, this is just for ideas, inspiration. It's not to make you overwhelmed and cram up your schedule. And I love that little like blip at the beginning, because it's like, I'm not trying to overwhelm you with things that you need to be doing all the time, but I just want to give you ideas for how to bring fun traditions and nostalgia and stuff like that into your kids' lives. This next book I have read twice. I probably read it once a year at this point, and it is Almost Amish by Nancy Sleeth. I love this because it is a very good homemaking, low-income, minimal living book. I'm going to read the back of it for you. It says, have you ever stopped to think maybe the Amish are onto something? Something is wrong, terribly wrong, about the way we spend our time. We tweet while we work, text while we drive, and basically stare at our computer screens until we fall into bed at night. We're plugged in 24/7, and it's not just us. Our kids spend 100 times more hours staring at a screen each week than they do playing outside, and we wonder why so many children are being treated for ADHD, depression, and obesity-related ailments. It's time to simplify our lives, to slow down, make faith and family the focal point, which I love about this book, is about family. It is about slowing down and not living into the trends and the culture of the world, which is very, very difficult. Very difficult, okay? I was influenced to buy this microphone for YouTube. Like, we're influenced in so many different things. And one thing that when I was reading that stood out to me is in this book she talked about how we need to live in community. And instead of, let's say we don't have an appliance that we need for a recipe or something, like instead of just going out and buying an appliance, living in community and asking our neighbor or a friend down the street, being like, hey, like, can I borrow it? And in that exchange, it encourages community, encourages friendship, it encourages slowing down and honestly, like, not spending money, which I love. I think that this book is good. She also has really fun recipes in the back. Like some soup recipes that she mentions in the book. One of my favorites is she mentions challah, how to make challah bread, and I love challah bread. I made it a while ago. It's very, very yummy. This next book is for all my creative mamas out there. I actually mentioned this book and the Memory Making Mom on my Bookstagram. Little side plug, if you don't follow me already, I have 2 Instagrams. Yes, I know, it's overwhelming. I have 2. I have a more homemaking motherhood Instagram, which is what that kind of focuses on, and then I have another one that I recently started out of my love and my passion for books right now, which is _May the Reader, and I'll just like put it somewhere here. But I started that one and I'm very excited. It's actually been so fun and I love it. It's so fun. Anyways, okay. This book is called Create Anyways by Ashley Gadd, and I was extremely inspired by this book. It is about creating in the margins of motherhood, and not just creating, but playing. Like, I know that sounds so weird, playing in motherhood. What is that? What does playing look like? It's because we don't think we can play as adults. We just think everything has to be serious business. Business. And we're either scrolling or taking care of our kids or going from one activity to the other, and we don't take time to play and be creative. And she argues that as moms, we need time to play, whatever that looks like, whether that is literally sitting around our coffee table, coloring in a coloring book, puzzles, making your YouTube channel that you've always wanted to try, or baking something fun and creative that you've always wanted to try. Just being creative for the sake of it, not necessarily to show off or to make money off of something, but just doing something fun and creative for yourself, because honestly, moms and dads, you deserve it. This is mostly talking to mothers, so I just wanted to make that clear. So, yeah. So, speaking of slowing down and resting and being creative and doing things that you love, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer. Okay, I feel like the entire Christian community has heard of this, but if you haven't, please pick it up. This book is not just for moms, it is for any and every Christian out there. The entire book focuses on rest, it focuses on Sabbath, it focuses on not buying into the busy culture that we live in right now, which I feel like we were super super busy, super go, and now we're focusing a lot more on slowing down and resting, which I love to hear. So it talks about silence and solitude, Sabbath, simplicity, and slowing. I hope that sounds good in the microphone. In my head I'm like, that sounded really good. Anyways, it's a very good book, very easy to read, and let me just show you like what the pages look like. Like, it's just very fast, easy read. And he writes like he talks, so it makes it even easier. But I love that book. I encourage everyone to read it. I feel like all of John Mark Comer's books should be on like every Christian shelf and should be read, because he just takes what scripture says and like the Christian life and just writes about it so simply that you're like, oh yeah, like that should make sense. And I'm glad he's written about it because it makes sense even more now. The last two books, I don't know why I did this, but the last two books are kind of like more challenging reads, like reads that you're like, ooh, like I really need to slow down and like discuss this with someone, because it's just, I don't know. Take Back Your Family by Jefferson Bethke. Love this guy. Love listening to a podcast. He's really awesome. Haven't met him, but he seems like a really great person. Oh gosh, I'm ruining the paper. I don't know who created those anyways. Essentially, it's about thinking as like your family as a team. Like you work together. You all have gifts and talents, and you need to work together with those gifts and talents. You need to give your kids responsibilities. You need to, all these different things. I think we live in a society that's very like you do your own thing. Like it's a very individualized society, and Jefferson is like, y'all, you need to work as a team. Like you're a team effort. You're not like, yes, you're individuals with individual talents, but God created those individual talents to work together. And I absolutely love that. In this society, like it teaches you not to prioritize your family. It teaches you to go from certain activities to the next without sitting down and having a meal together, having talks together, having deep talks, not just like, oh, how was school today? Nice, okay, bye. Like having deep talks with your family members, really getting to know their heart, not pushing your own goals and dreams and visions for them on them, like allowing them to figure out their own gifts and their own talents. And that's something that I love about this book. This isn't written towards women, it's written towards families and dads and moms. So like I think this book is good for anyone and every Christian that wants to read, especially Christians who are looking to start a family in the future. I think this is really good. Or even if you're in the middle of your family, like your kids are 14, 15, and 16. I don't know. Like this is a book for families. And this very last book is a dense book. And to be honest, it's so dense that I haven't even finished it, but I recommend you read it. This is Mama Bear Apologetics by Hillary Morgan Ferrer, something like that. Love this, okay? It's a lot to work in there. So it basically talks about how these days we as Christians we got a lot being thrown at us from non-Christians in politics and whatever, and it's basically like, all right, like moms, we need to gear up and teach our kids how to think critically about the things going on within the world. We need to teach our kids how to think critically about theology. We need to teach our kids how to think about what's right and what's wrong in the TV shows, in the music, in anything that we are watching and anything that we're doing. So one thing I love about what she has to say, is she says we shouldn't just tell kids, hey, don't watch that, don't listen to that. We need to tell them why, or better yet, help them to figure out why we shouldn't listen to such things, why we shouldn't watch certain things, and help them to figure out what's right and what's wrong. And we can't just we are being lazy parents essentially when we are just you can't do that, that's not good, that's bad, or whatever. She says in her book, she's like, I encourage parents to, instead of just saying don't listen to that certain Taylor Swift song or whatever, literally print out the lyrics, walk through the lyrics with your kids and be like, all right, what might be good about this song? What are the good bits about the song? And then also what are the bad bits about the song? What are parts that maybe are not so good, and how there are good and bad in everything, and just helping your kids to look for those things and have that conviction. So that's something that I really enjoyed. And then later on in the book, she talks about logic. Wait, is it legit? She talks about logic. And she walks through different fallacies and stuff, and how to help your kids see different fallacies in certain arguments. I think it's geared towards any parent at any stage, but I think the sooner you pick this book up as a parent, the better, especially, once your kid hits 3-4 years old and they can start understanding right from wrong more clearly. That's when you can start asking these questions and introducing these different things. All right, friends, I know that was very long, but honestly, I just love talking about all those books. It was so good. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please subscribe and like this video. It helps me out so much. Also, if you want to see more bookish content, please follow my Bookstagram. I try and post there probably 3 or 4 times a week. I also give book updates, book reviews, all the things of everything I'm reading. So go over there. It's totally me nerding out, but it's amazing nerding. And then also, if you are interested into more homemaking and motherhood things, then follow my motherhood and homemaking Instagram page as well. I post more in real time, and yeah. So anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.